Delighted to be joined now by Limerick District League Chairman and newly appointed Chairman, Ger Smith. Ger, it's your first year now in the job. Are you excited by the challenges that lay ahead?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, I suppose it goes back to 2 or 3 years and the passing of Pat Cotter, and which brought our chairman into a position that he didn't want to be in, to be honest. And over the last 2 or 3 years, he's done a terrific job as treasurer, taking over from Pat, and he's put us into a situation now where we're computerised and everything is going well. And when it came to the AGM last May, it was Christy had to step up and take the treasurer's job, which left a vacancy of chairman. And I know Christy would have loved to stay on as chairman because he does a terrific job, but I was only delighted to be nominated and to get the job, and hopefully I can continue where Christy and his backroom staff were when we took over, when I came in.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that the league itself starts next Tuesday with Division 3A kicking us off. I suppose a lot of the hard work for yourselves would have been done in preparing maybe over the summer as well. Was there a lot of undertaking before to get to this point?
Well, people say the season kicks off in August, but for the Limerick District League it kicks off maybe June, July, because there's a hell of a lot of work to be done in the background. And the pleasure in my job is the fact that I just have to sit back and watch and hope that the lads will do their job. And taking into consideration Noel Hanley, I didn't even have to pick up the phone to Noel. I know Noel has done the job that I don't have to worry about. Thurlock likewise, Michael Regan, Christy, Liam Colopy, CWO and the committee. They've all rode in, so it's only a matter of me sitting back and just trying to guide the forces on, and that's the way it worked, and they've all done a great job, and we're now ready.
Absolutely. I know that in committees in general, in every sport, Ger, you have maybe your divides or your speculation of in-house problems. I suppose you'll be hoping now for a fresh start, and obviously hoping that everyone will be on the same page.
Well, that's very important. Every club and every league have these ups and downs, but I would hope that we can all pull together. And going over the last couple of weeks, everyone has been pulling together and everyone has been cooperating and everyone's been in touch with one another. And yeah, it seems to be that we're all in the same boat, and hopefully we'll continue that way for the coming season.
Obviously we know that there's been one club maybe that has seen maybe a demise, and there's in participation levels overall though, Ger, how do you feel it's shaping up for the new season in terms of how many teams? Have you seen a massive drop off, or is it at the same level as you've seen in seasons gone by?
Well, as you said, there's only one team basically has dropped out from the junior scene, and we're sorry to see them going, and hopefully next year they might put it together and come back. But in general, we still have the 49 clubs. We have 107 to 110 teams, which is directly on par with last year. The youths and the 17s, they're okay. They're not as big as we'd like them to be in team-wise, but hopefully that will improve, because it's the junior teams in the future is they're going to be pulling off of these leagues, and if these players don't come through, it's going to make it harder and harder for the junior teams to find players.
Yeah, absolutely. And over here now in the setting of Jackman Park, which is the base, on a beautiful evening altogether. The only thing is, I suppose, is you wouldn't want it to be this hot when you're playing next week, or fellas in general wouldn't want to be. But on side of that as well, obviously I see that the ISRS, the Referees Association, brought out their own statement there in the last couple of days, and they were speaking about laying out initial bans, and bans that are going to be for abuse to officials, obviously, which I wouldn't say we've seen an increase of, in fairness, in the last few years. But the only thing is, does that make your job easier in that there's flat bans now and punishments laid out for people in black and white before the season does that help the league in that respect?
It will, yeah, but we only got the drift of it last night at our meeting, and we're waiting to sit down and have a look at this referees what they've laid out. And we did have a meeting maybe 5 or 6 weeks ago with the referee societies, and we have spoken about how we're going to deal with clubs and players that decide they're going to abuse referees. And if the abuse of the referees was to continue, we'll wind up with no referees and we'll wind up with no football. So it's very important that we do acknowledge what the referees put in front of us, and it will be sitting down with the committee next week to discuss these items that the referees have put in front of us for further advancements in the league.
And I see you mentioned earlier actually in the interview Pat Cotter. Obviously the tournament had taken place last week in Mungret for Pat. Great turnout actually, to be fair, and some very good teams, well organised by Mungret, and a good way to remember him, considering during COVID no one could really remember him in the right way.
Yeah, we had the pleasure of going out to Christy, Noel Dunphy, myself, and later on Turlock, and it was a very well organised tournament, and great credit to Mungret for remembering Pat in the way they did. And yeah, it was lovely to see it happening. And again, you had the Jerry Adi tournament as well, which is very good for football, because all these people have been great for football in Limerick, and we need to acknowledge these people. That's my opinion on that.
I know as chairman you're supposed to be maybe not any bit biased, but I know you have your own club affiliation as well with Pike Rovers. Obviously, after winning the league last year, they'll be chomping at the bit to defend that title. But there's great excitement. One of the things I was going to ask you is the league format. It seems across the board, bar a very small minority, that everyone feels that the league format worked out brilliantly for both top and bottom and added to the excitement last year. The right decision to keep it going for this year?
Oh, absolutely. As you said, Pike pipped Fairview last season, and it made for great football. And what actually it does is it makes the players realise that when the format breaks up to 6 up and 6 down, that every match is a cup final to them then, and it means that you're not getting a chance to play. My opinion is you're not probably getting a chance to play your fringe players, which can be a small bit of a problem for those players, but is an absolutely bonus to the league for the competition that's there, for further